They will drain you. Do not argue with these people. Just reset. You see, let's pull this through. Think of life as a beautiful set dining table in a peaceful, orderly home. You know, I always say that everything in your home has an address. Today's How to Live a Fulfilled Life with Tessa-Marie Morning Blessing. It might shock you a little bit, maybe not, maybe it will, but let's see what we can do. So here you go. I'm looking at you, I'm seeing you, and I'm saying good morning to you. A beautiful community of friends and family that you take one little piece. Once you join this group, you're a family. So let's dive right into the morning blessing. What is on your heart today? That's what it is. Let's dive on what is on your heart today. I want you to take a deep breath and really listen to this. Eliminate access to people who celebrate your failures more than your wins. You know, those who point out to you how the strong man stumbled, those. Elimination and eliminating them from your life requires tactic. It requires a certain amount of inspiration. So, no, you won't always see it clearly at first. No, you never see them clearly at first. This kind of energy hides. It hides behind harmless jokes. It hides behind unsolicited doubts, like, you didn't ask them. And it hides behind that mask of, I'm just being real with you. You're really a mess. You really failed. That one. You don't want them to be real. But today, we are shining a light on it. You don't have to argue with it. You don't have to argue with it. You don't have to fight it. You simply stop offering it a seat at your table. You just stop, giving it space. You see, the bottom line is like this. Your energy, your peace, and your progress are sacred. Today, we are going to look at this through the eyes of our 5 pillars, specifically emotional and mental pillars. Because you allow into your space these kind of people. And you should ask, who do I allow into my space? Because that determines how high you can build your life. You have to recognize this subtle disguise that they bring it to. I'm about to tell you what to look at. The people who don't want to see you soar will rarely say it directly. They don't. Instead, they disguise it, their minimization as humor or tough love. You're not a kid. Have you ever shared a magnificent piece of good news only for someone to immediately counter it with a compliment that feels like a pinch? Or maybe they brought up a past mistake under the guise of keeping you humble. You don't have to be kept humble. You already know what humility can do, and you know when to use it. You see, pay attention to them, to how your body feels too. After sharing a win with someone or something you enjoyed or something, if you feel a sudden drop in energy or a need to defend your joy, what is your intention here? If you're looking for someone to be a speaker at any of your events that you're planning, get in touch with me. My email address is right here. And you can contact me, and I would love to give you more about making life choices to you or any of the topic on living a fulfilled life. What is your intuition saying? Listen to that intuition. You see, your intuition is always talking. Stop looking to see their cruelty. Just stop looking for that. You see, recognize that passive, expressive jealousy and constant skepticism are just as draining. They will drain you. Do not argue with these people. Just reset. You see, let's pull this through. Think of life as a beautiful set dining table in a peaceful, orderly home. You know, I always say that everything in your home has an address. Well, the same goes for the people in your life. They all belong at a specific address, and not everyone belongs in the inner sanctuary. Not everyone gets a seat at the dining table. When you notice someone consistently feeding your doubts and starving your confidence, you do not need to stage a grand confrontation. You don't need to start a war of words or demand an apology. You don't have to do any of that. The action that you need to take, you simply quietly and firmly stop offering them a seat. You change their address from the front row of your life to the balcony or out the door entirely. Choice. Silence and distance are the most dignified boundaries you can create. That's stoic silence. And just stay away. You see, you need to protect your prosperity and your emotional and pillar and mental pillar. You have to protect those. To live a truly fulfilled life, your environment must support your vision. When you allow people who secretly celebrate your missteps to stay close, you are cluttering your mental and emotional home. When you celebrate with them and you keep them there, and you really don't want to, you're just clouding, you cannot see. True emotional prosperity means being surrounded by a circle that lifts you higher, cheering just as loudly for your small incremental steps as they do for your big giant leaps. You see, protecting your space isn't selfish. It requires maintenance for your soul. It does. The action, choose intentional connection. Invest your time and your heart into relationships where your joy is mirrored, not minimized. You see, the homework that you should always try to incorporate in your life should be something like that. To do an inventory of your top tier circle. Identify just one relationship where you feel you are constantly defending your wins or swallowing jokes that sting. Your assignment is to practice this intentional distance with that person today, just for today, one day at a time. Do not over-explain, do not argue, just quietly close the door to that specific person's access point, how they come to you. You may be blessed with the clarity, for sure, to see who is truly standing in your corner. You might, and then there are those who just cannot see it. May your heart be strong enough to withdraw access from anyone who diminishes you. This is one of the things we have to always make sure that we take control of. There are always going to be people who diminish us constantly, all the time. And one of the things we can do about it is to make sure that we put them aside. Putting them aside does not mean you have to hate them or bounce on their head. You do not have to do any of this. All you have to know is when to go towards them or when to just put your boundary up. It doesn't have to be always words. It could just be a silence, a quiet no, a smile. Do you know the most disarming thing you can do with a critic is to smile? Because you see, their intention is not for you to smile when they're putting you down. They need you to, take a stance, warrior, fight or flight, right? You do neither. You just look at them and you smile. Of course, we all have our phrase, that one, are you okay? But it comes as a joke. I saw them, that was no, it's not a joke. It's a dig. It's jealousy. 2 years ago, a wise woman looked at me after a confrontation or just nothing. It wasn't a confrontation. It was just a bigger than life human being that just didn't realize that she should stop doing this. And this dear friend, I'm sitting in her car and she's driving and she says, this person is very jealous of you. And that was for the first time in my life, I paused. I didn't say anything to my friend when she said that, but I swallowed it and I go, yeah. But then you look at yourself and you say, what do I have that they want? The funny thing is, I couldn't pin it. I just could not pin it. My dad made a mistake once in his words. He used hate, but he said to me, I have to use that word to tell you something, to teach you a lesson. He said, I much rather somebody hates me than they're jealous of me. And he said, that's why I'm using that word, to show you the analogy. If somebody hates you, chances are they'll stay away from you. They can't stand the very vibration coming out of your body. But if they're jealous of you, they find a way to get under your skin. And then he said, Cain and Abel. That was jealousy. So you see, I learned that from my dear friend. I do not hate that person. But now, for circumstances beyond my control, my laugh has brought me to the point, because I laughed so heartily at a silly thing, I was blocked, I was cursed, and I let go. As time went by though, the amazing thing is that I realized, wow, what a breath of fresh air this is, not to have this human being constantly knocking at my mind and my emotions, constantly demanding attention, constantly saying, the phone rings and you pick it up. Hello. And right away, that person starts with the boomerang. And I went, how are you today? Why don't you say a greeting before you start speaking about all? Well, I will tell you that after I tell you what I came to tell you. And I went, oh my goodness, eye opener. The thing is, when you create the life you create for yourself, and those that weren't there when you were laying the bricks one by one, when you were like Betty and Colin and I at the bank, and we got put down because of who you are, one because of the color of your skin, one because of an accent, one because you weren't given an opportunity. When you've been through that and you come out on the other side successful, once you have stood up and the person who tried their best to keep you down calls you and say, can you hire my son? Or can you give me your notes so I can do the exam you did? Unless you have had that person who is now taking you down will never understand the journey you took to get where you are today. So when they're tearing you apart and they're saying it with a smile and they're reminding you of your past, the test of the journey, the test of the process of the journey called life. I read it once, it's quite long. It's a story I wrote in 20 minutes, standing here in 2021 at this same stand-up desk. And it poured out of me. But they came back. That person from whatever, it was just a story, I just came out. But in the story, I said they came back. And then they've decided, I want to learn from you. And then I said, well, what would you do with the teachings I offer? Will you teach it to someone or will you keep it for yourself? Because you see, knowledge is not yours to keep. What you know, you must teach. But that critic, the story she critiques from childhood all the way. But she didn't have the personality in the story to stand up and defend and say, no, it's not so. They don't know the journey. They don't know the bumps in the road. They don't know. All they see now is the joy that you have. All they see now is the peace of mind. And when someone is actually jealous of your joy or your peace of mind, it's even deeper than if they were envious of your possessions, your worldly possessions. These are replaceable. You can build again. If Rudyard Kipling told that to his son in the poem, If I F. You can start again with worn-out tools. You can take a half-broken hammer and put a nail in the ground or in wherever you want to put it. But when they steal your joy or they steal your peace, there is nothing left for them to take, and that leaves you drained. Because every time you think of your joy that was snatched or pressed or diminished or made small, or your peace, that does not come back. You keep walking through the journey called life, and you're looking over your shoulder. When next will they show up? So you see, that's why when you have people in your life who diminish your successes, who cramps your joy, who pushes you down, you have to remember one thing: elimination. It does not have to be savage. Sometimes you just give it to your guardian angel. And sometimes, like my daughter said to me when that happened, she said to me, well, Mom, you did say you needed a break. Well, guess what? You got the break. So sometimes you ask for something. Oh, I just need a break from this person, I said. And I got the break. That was a prayer. That was a heartfelt prayer. And that is why they say prayer is a heart-to-heart talk with your divine, your universe, your God. Remember that. So today, when they're criticizing you and they're smiling on one side of the mouth and you can see the venom coming on the other side and you're shivering, you need to find them a new address. They do not belong on your porch or your backyard, certainly not inside. You have to take them to the sidewalk and set them free. No hate, no drama. You're always preoccupied when the phone rings or the text message. Oh, I haven't heard from you for a while. Oh, I'm fine, thank you. How are you? I have to go though. Why don't you try that? Have a wonderful and amazing day. I love you. I appreciate you. And I'm very happy and grateful that you're here today.